factoring ax squared plus bx plus c. Factoring ax squared plus bx plus c. We're going to stop off at our objectives. All the way, where are they? And we're going to factor trinomials in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Factor trinomials in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Corbin, you need to be writing this down, please. I mean, look at all this stuff that we've covered in this unit. We can multiply polynomials all different ways. We can FOIL, we can grid. Now we're on to factoring. We're doing the opposite. We're taking the answer and creating the problem. We're unfoiling. We're factoring. And the difference is today you're going to have a leading coefficient that's not 1. Every other problem you've had that invisible 1 at the beginning. This problem we're going to have a different value. We're going to have a coefficient that's not 1. Okay. Page 53, correct? Skip to 53. That's what it is on our table of contents. Factor by grouping. We didn't get in there. Ax squared plus bx plus c. Now I'm going to tell you that the way that I'm going to show you is not how I learned it. It has been developed recently. The way I learned it was mental guessing and checking. This way of solving them organizes your thought process a little more. So it gives you some more procedures to follow. It's less reliant on you just figuring it out mentally. There are some steps to go through. So this means the trinomial will have a leading coefficient that is not 1. The other way of just looking at the factors of C and seeing if there's a sum of B, that was if the coefficient is 1. But today we're going to have a leading coefficient. That A value, that space, is going to be a number that is not 1. And there are some steps to follow. So the first thing I want you to do today is I want you to identify A, B, and C. Identify the values of A, B, and C. You don't have to write it down, but you just have to look at it and say, okay, this is A, this one's B, and this one's C. How do you know which one's A? It's the leading coefficient. It touches the x squared or the y squared. How do you know which one's B? It's the second one. It's the middle one. It's touching the x. And how do you know if it's C? It's by itself. It's the constant. It's the last one. They go in order, right? Math is great that way. A, B, C. Identify the A, the B, and the C. So let's skip, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. And let's write down our first example. 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. Two x squared plus 11x plus 5. So can you tell me what is the A? Everybody. 2. What's the B? 11. What's the C?
5.
Perfect. Step 1, is it easy? Do you feel confident? Are you like, yes, this is going to be the easiest homework we've ever had?
That depends on the rest of the steps.
All right, so step 2. Now again, I'm telling you this. This is a way of organizing your ideas. This method is called the Xbox method, if you wanted to Google it. You're going to draw the X and substitute the values. You're going to draw the X and you're going to substitute the values. And this is what that means. I draw a nicely sized X. And always in these same places, the same locations, you're going to put A times C in the top part. And you're going to put your B value in the bottom part. So you draw the X and substitute the values. So down here, for this problem, I'm going to draw, and I usually take up about 3 lines. I'm going to draw the X. And I'm going to substitute the values. What goes in the top spot? A times C. So I look, A times C. What's 2 times 5? 10. You do not need to put the exponent with it. You can. I just tend to not do it because I don't have enough room. My handwriting's too big. What goes in the bottom always? The B value. So in this problem, what's my B value? 11. All right, so I could put x squared and x in there. I tend to smush them. Questions so far? Anyone in tears yet? Not yet? We're good then. Identify the A, B, and C. Draw the X and substitute the values. A times C is always the top. B is always the bottom. Step 3. Find factors of A, C that have a sum of B. Same thing like we did yesterday, except instead today we had to do A times C. So I'm looking. Factors of AC, factors of 10 that have a sum of 11. Factors of 10 that have a sum of 11. And if you don't know the factors of 10, we'd look right here. I have 2 and 5. Is there any combination of 2 and 5 that make 10? No. So what does it have to be, Jesse? 10 and 1. Step 4. Oh. Let's do this. 10x and 1x. Sorry, forgot to tell you that. So there are my factors, 10x and 1x. When I multiply them, I get 10x squared. And when I add them together, I get 11x. Step 4. We did the x. Now we're moving on to the box. Draw a 2 by 2 box. And substitute the values. Draw a 2 by 2 box and substitute the values. So here's what your 2 by 2 box always looks like. 2 by 2. And ax squared always goes right there. And c always goes right there. Ax squared is in quadrant 2. C is in quadrant 3. So down here, I'm going to draw my 2 by 2 box. And what's always going to go in this top left quadrant, quadrant 2, what's going to go there?
Ax squared.
Ax squared. So I look at my problem. What's ax squared? 2x squared. What's always going to go down here? C, which is 5. What do you think I'm going to put in those 2 missing blank spaces? What do you think is going to go in these 2 missing blank spaces? What do you think you're going to do, Sam? Perfect. You write the factors, 10x and 1x, in the blanks. It does not matter which one goes where. Sam could put 10x here, and Keegan could put 10x here, and it doesn't matter. 10x and 1x. And the last step is to factor each column and row. So if I look at each column and row, here are the rows, here are the columns. What do 2x squared and 1x share? They share 1x. What do 10x and 5 share? 5. What do 2x squared and 10x share? 2x. And what do 1x and 5 share? There's your answer. 2x plus 1 and 1x plus 5. It's a lot of steps. You used to have to do all of this, though, mentally, or making lists and guessing and checking and see if it works. This is an organized way of showing it. Let's try another one. 15x squared plus 4x minus 3. And let's follow our steps. What's A? 15. What's B? 4. And what's C? Negative 3. Step 1 done. Draw the X. All right, I can do that. What value am I going to put in the top of my X? A times C, which is, Sam, what's 15 times negative 3? Negative 45x squared. What's going to go in the bottom? b, which is 4x. All right. Now let's look at our factor squares. We're looking for factors of 45 that have a sum of 4. So I look, 3 and 15. Any combination of 3 and 15 get me to 4? Any combination of 5 and 9 get me to 4? How? 9 minus 5. So that means I'm going to have positive 9 and negative 5. So far, this is the same as yesterday, except for the fact that we're multiplying a times c. Now I'm going to draw my box. What always goes right here? Ax squared. So in this problem, what will I substitute? 15x squared. What always goes in this spot? C. This time I will put negative 3. How do I fill in the blanks? With the factors. Does it matter which one? No. I could put 9x here and negative 5x here and get the same answer if you switched them. After you fill it in, let's factor. What do 9x and 15x squared, what can they both be divided by? 3x. What do negative 5x and negative 3 share? Negative 1. What do 15x squared and negative 5x share? 5x. What do 9x and negative 3 share? And there's your answer. 3x minus 1 and 5x plus 3. Samantha. It does not matter which one goes first. You could put 5x plus 3 and then 3x minus 1. Let's do one more. 4x squared minus 9x plus 5. Got to squeeze a little bit to fit it in there, but it'll work. See if you can start it yourself. See if you can start it yourself. I'll do a little delay so you can check up here. See if you can get going. I'm going to take 4 times 5, which is 20x squared, right? 4x times 5 is 20x squared, and my b value would be negative 9x. I'm now looking for factors of 20 that would result in negative 9. Who can tell me the factors of 20 that would result in a negative 9? Keegan? 5 and 4? Negative 5 and negative 4. Negative 5x, negative, that's a 4x. Then I draw my box. And I always put ax squared in the top. And in quadrant 4, I always put my c value. And then I'm going to put negative 5x and negative 4x. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a trick problem. It has an answer. It's just a trick. Because both factors are negative, we have to change something in the end. So I factor. 4x squared and negative 4x, what do they share? 4x. Negative 5x and 5, they share a 5. I'm going to have to factor up because I don't have enough room on the bottom. 4x squared and negative 5x, what do they share? They share 1x. And negative 4x and 5, what do they share? 1. However, this is your answer, but it is not adding. Because both factors were negative, 1x minus 1 and 4x minus 5. Because a negative times a negative makes a positive, but a negative plus a negative makes a negative. Only if both factors are negative do you then change it to be minus minus. This is the Xbox method.